Yo, BN fam, and today we're gonna react to a girl that killed her baby daddy, then organized a search party. Let's get it.
Hey King.
What's up?
I love you.
Oh, you do now? And you just applications, ain't it?
No application. You the best thing that's ever happened to me. There's no girls in your mouth. You can't do that. Your teeth is white though.
It is? No.
I said I love you.
I love you too, baby.
No, I take it back because you took too long. You're not being very nice to me today.
I was street.
You was no.
You know what?
Hey Tristan. Tristan.
Hi, Mommy.
What's up, Tristan?
Hi, Mommy.
Columbia, South Carolina, December 22nd, 2021. A group of concerned citizens gather in a local park. They hold missing person flyers, share updates on social media, and coordinate search routes through nearby neighborhoods. At the center of this effort stands Taylor Wardlaw, visibly distressed as she pleads for information about her missing boyfriend and the father of her child, 26-year-old Terrell Sims. If anyone has seen him or knows anything, please come forward, Wardlaw tells the gathered volunteers, her voice breaking. His 4 children need their father to come home. The missing person case dominated local news. Wardlaw appeared in interviews, organized multiple search efforts, and maintained a consistent public presence, the image of a distraught girlfriend desperate to find her missing partner. But there was one critical detail Taylor Wardlaw didn't share with the search party volunteers or the media. Terrell Sims wasn't missing. He was already dead, and Taylor Wardlaw had killed him. 2 days before reporting him missing, Wardlaw shot Sims.
Nah, she cold. She cold-blooded. Ugh. She disgusts me. How can you do that? To the father of your baby, bro? That's crazy, bro. Man, that's cold-blooded, man. Ugh.
Sims multiple times during a heated argument in their home. Rather than calling for help or turning herself in, she initiated an elaborate deception.
Yo, seriously, everything that I prayed for last night, I've got it so far. I have one more thing to get done today. Son, God has blessed everything that I've asked for. One more thing, y'all.
With her new boyfriend, Eddie Brown, she disposed of Sims's body near a creek and methodically removed evidence from their home. The truth would remain hidden for nearly 2 weeks. On January 3rd, 2022, police discovered Terrell Sims' body. The location wasn't random. It was precisely where evidence led investigators after they began to question Wardlaw's story. Near his body lay his discarded ankle monitor, a crucial piece of evidence that would help authorities reconstruct the timeline of events. Terrell Sims was known to friends and family as a devoted father trying to navigate the complexities of co-parenting 4 children while dealing with a volatile relationship. At just 26 years old, he balanced work responsibilities with his commitment to fatherhood. Those who knew him described a young man who, despite past mistakes, was working to build a stable future for his children. The discovery of his body transformed a missing person case into a homicide investigation, with attention quickly turning to the person who had been most vocal about finding him. Taylor Wardlaw's public persona contrasted sharply with private reality. To the community, she portrayed herself as a concerned girlfriend, leading efforts to find Sims. Yet investigators uncovered a history of jealousy, control, and domestic conflict that painted a very different picture. Text messages, witness statements, and physical evidence revealed Wardlaw's possessive behavior. She monitored Sims's movements, demanded access to his phone, and frequently accused him of infidelity. Friends described her as someone who could switch between caring partner and vengeful accuser depending on her suspicions at any given moment. Most shocking to those who had joined her search efforts was learning that while publicly searching for Sims, Wardlaw was already involved with Eddie Brown, the same man who helped her dispose of Sims' body. The case exemplifies how domestic violence can escalate to lethal outcomes when warning behaviors go unaddressed. While maintaining the public fiction of searching for her missing boyfriend, Wardlaw was actively working to conceal her crime. The performance was so convincing that even those close to the couple initially believed her distress was genuine. What drives someone to kill their partner and then organize a public search to find them? This contradiction lies at the heart of this case, a psychological complexity that reveals how some people can compartmentalize extreme behaviors while maintaining outward normalcy. In March 2024, more than 2 years after Terrell Sims' death, Taylor Wardlaw stood before a judge and pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter.
Tonight in Richland County, where a murder trial ends before it ever begins. 31-year-old Taylor Wardlaw pled guilty to killing her boyfriend, 26-year-old Terrell Sims, in December of 2021.
News 19's Cassidy Byer was in court today. She's joining us now with the details.
I felt she should have got more.
On what was supposed to be the first day of trial, 31-year-old Taylor Wardlaw changed her mind, and after being led into the courtroom in shackles, she pleaded guilty to killing her boyfriend, 26-year-old Terrell Sims.
Finally admitting to the crime she had worked so diligently to hide. If you're finding this case as compelling as I do, now let's continue examining how Taylor Wardlaw's relationship with Terrell Sims deteriorated into violence, jealousy, and ultimately murder. Taylor Wardlaw's life before the murder showed a pattern of behavior that would later prove significant. Though public records of her early years remain sparse, accounts from those who knew her paint a consistent picture. Residents of Columbia, South Carolina, who interacted with Wardlaw described her as having two distinct sides to her personality, one charming and attentive, the other suspicious and domineering. She could switch how she acted depending on who.
Sound like a Gemini. I'm sorry. I ain't not trying to offend all the Gemini with their two personality disorders. My daughter a Gemini, so I can't really say nothing. But they do be crazy though. That Gemini stuff do be crazy though, bro. Cause my daughter will act happy the one time, bro, and then one time she will act angry or mad, like, you know, like somebody did stuff to her, and then sometimes she will like be alone, and then I don't know, bro. I don't know. That's what she sound like to me.
Depending on who was watching, said one acquaintance who knew both Wardlaw and Sims. When others were around, she played the role of a devoted girlfriend. When they were alone, it was constant questioning and accusations. This duality became a defining trait in her interactions. Wardlaw maintained appearances while harboring deep insecurities that manifested as control tactics. Her relationships followed a consistent pattern: initial charm, followed by escalating possessiveness. In 2018, Wardlaw and Terrell Sims began their relationship. What started with the ordinary excitement of a new connection quickly revealed troubling dynamics. Within months, those close to the couple noticed Wardlaw's growing need to monitor Sims's activities. She demanded access to his phone, questioned his whereabouts, and reacted with outbursts when she perceived any threat to her position. Family members later reported that Wardlaw tracked Sims's movements obsessively. She would call repeatedly if he didn't answer immediately, show up unexpectedly at places where he was supposed to be, and demand explanations for any interaction with other women, even casual conversations. She wanted to know where he was every minute of the day, said Sims's cousin in a statement to investigators. If he took too
long. That it sounded like she was obsessive. You know, there's a thing called obsessive disorder. But I don't know about that killing. Like, I don't know why he had to kill him. It's either he did some that she didn't like. Y'all let me know down in the comment, like, what was she thinking? Some, like, I don't know. It's either she had a disability or a disorder or something. Sound like this girl was crazy. Sound like she was cuckoo, crazy.
Long coming back from the store, she would blow up his phone with texts accusing him of seeing other women. This high-pressure environment created a continuous state of tension. Sims, struggling to balance his responsibilities as a father of 4, with Wardlaw's demands for attention and loyalty, found himself increasingly isolated from friends and family. The relationship deteriorated further with each passing year. Arguments that began as verbal confrontations gradually escalated to physical altercations. Both Wardlaw and Sims engaged in behaviors that neighbors described as loud and aggressive, with disputes frequently spilling outside their home. In 2020, the situation reached a critical point. While 9 months pregnant, Wardlaw reported that Sims had threatened her life during an explosive argument. This incident resulted in his arrest and a court-ordered separation through a no-contact order, a legal measure designed to prevent further violence between them. Court documents from this period reveal the contradictory narratives that defined their relationship. During the hearing, Wardlaw described feeling unsafe and afraid for her unborn child. Yet within months of the baby's birth, despite the no-contact order remaining active, the couple had resumed living together. This pattern, separation followed by reconciliation despite legal intervention, demonstrated the complex hold they maintained on each other. Friends observed a push-pull dynamic where periods of apparent harmony would inevitably dissolve into accusations and conflicts. They couldn't seem to stay apart, even when they shouldn't have been together, explained a mutual friend who witnessed their relationship over years. One week they'd be posting happy family pictures, the next week one of them would be staying with friends after a blow-up. By mid-2021, their relationship had settled into a destructive routine. Wardlaw maintained strict oversight of Sims's communications, regularly checking his phone and social media accounts. Sims alternated between compliance and resistance, sometimes accepting her demands and other times pushing back against her control. Throughout this period, another troubling aspect emerged: Wardlaw's propensity for manipulating narratives. She would present herself as the victim in their conflicts, while simultaneously escalating tensions. This ability to reshape perceptions proved dangerously effective at isolating Sims from potential support systems. What makes this case particularly notable is how the couple continued co-parenting despite these harmful patterns. Their child, born following the 2020 domestic violence incident, lived in an environment where conflict had become normalized. Both parents appeared to compartmentalize their hostilities, maintaining the appearance of functional co-parents despite their increasingly volatile private interactions. By December 2021, their relationship had reached a breaking point. Wardlaw's controlling behaviors intensified while, unknown to Sims, she had begun a relationship with Eddie Brown. This web of deception added new pressure to an already unstable situation. The history between Wardlaw and Sims demonstrates how relationships can become pressure cookers when healthy boundaries are absent. Their pattern of conflict, temporary separation, and reunion created an environment where tensions accumulated without resolution. The domestic violence incident during Wardlaw's pregnancy served as a clear warning signal that went unheeded, with the pair resuming their relationship despite court intervention. This cycle of dysfunction established the conditions for what would ultimately become a fatal confrontation in their home. A tragedy, years in the making. December 20th, 2021 marked the point of no return in the troubled relationship between Taylor Wardlaw and Terrell Sims. What transpired that evening in their Columbia, South Carolina home would transform their domestic conflicts into a homicide investigation. The day began with mounting tensions. According to case records, Wardlaw had been increasingly fixated on suspicions about Sims's fidelity. Text messages recovered from her phone showed dozens of accusatory messages sent throughout the day, demanding explanations for his whereabouts and questioning who he had been in contact with. Witnesses in neighboring apartments later told investigators they heard the argument escalate around 9 p.m. The confrontation centered on Wardlaw's accusations that Sims was involved with another woman. These allegations weren't new. They had been a recurring theme in their arguments. But this night, the intensity reached unprecedented levels. You could hear her screaming about him cheating, saying she had proof, one neighbor reported. It got louder than their usual fights. The verbal confrontation quickly intensified. Physical evidence would later show that furniture had been overturned and items thrown during the altercation.
So the neighbors didn't call 911 or didn't do something? I mean, there's nothing they could have done but call somebody. You know?
Glass was shattered across the living room floor, suggesting a violent struggle before the shooting occurred. As the argument reached its peak, Wardlaw retrieved a firearm. Police reports indicate that multiple shots were fired, with evidence showing that Sims had been struck several times. Most telling was a fatal shot to his back, which forensic analysts later determined had been fired while Sims was turned away, a detail that contradicted initial claims of self-defense. The gunshots fell silent. Sims lay dead in their home. Wardlaw now faced a critical decision that would reveal much about her state of mind. She chose deception over confession. Phone records obtained during the investigation showed that within minutes of the shooting, Wardlaw made a call, not to emergency services, but to Eddie Brown. This call introduced another layer to the case that surprised many following the investigation. Eddie Brown wasn't merely an acquaintance or friend Wardlaw turned to in crisis. He was her boyfriend, a relationship she had maintained while still living with Sims. This revelation helped investigators understand the complex motivations behind what happened next. Brown arrived at the residence approximately 40 minutes after the shooting. Security camera footage from a neighboring property captured his vehicle pulling into the driveway at 10:17 p.m. He remained inside the home for over 2 hours. What occurred during those hours was meticulously planned. Rather than reporting the incident, Wardlaw and Brown developed a strategy to dispose of evidence and conceal the murder. They wrapped Sims's body and transported it using a rental car Brown had obtained earlier that day, a detail that suggested some level of premeditation or at least remarkable quick thinking under pressure. The rental car was later found to contain blood evidence matching Sims's DNA, despite attempts to clean the vehicle. A bullet hole discovered in the car's hood during forensic examination provided additional physical evidence linking the vehicle to the crime. Together, Wardlaw and Brown transported Sims's body to a creek area outside Columbia. The location wasn't random. It was isolated enough to potentially delay discovery, yet accessible enough for quick disposal. Near this location, they discarded Sims's ankle monitor, which he had been required to wear following the previous domestic violence incident. Phone location data obtained by investigators mapped their movements that night, showing the route from the residence to the creek and back. The digital trail contradicted the story Wardlaw would later tell police about Sims simply leaving their home. By the early hours of December 21st, Wardlaw and Brown had returned to her residence. They spent hours removing bloodstains, discarding potential evidence, and constructing the narrative that would become her missing person report the following day. What makes this case particularly disturbing is the calculated nature of the response. Rather than a panicked reaction, evidence points to deliberate choices made to conceal the truth. Within hours of taking Sims' life, Wardlaw was already laying groundwork for her deception. The fatal night of December 20th transformed what might have been classified as a domestic homicide into something more complex. A murder, followed by an elaborate cover-up involving a romantic partner unknown to the victim's family or community. This hidden relationship added motive for both the crime and the deception that followed. As dawn broke on December 21st, Wardlaw began implementing the next phase of her plan, reporting Terrell Sims as missing and presenting herself as a concerned girlfriend desperate to find him. In the hours following Terrell Sims' death, Eddie Brown's involvement deepened. As Wardlaw's new boyfriend, he played a crucial role in the aftermath that went beyond simply helping dispose of the body. Evidence gathered by investigators revealed that Brown assisted in cleaning the crime scene, removing blood evidence from the home, and helping construct the story Wardlaw would tell authorities. Brown's actions showed a significant commitment to protecting Wardlaw. As documented in police reports, he used his personal connections to obtain cleaning supplies without creating a paper trail, and advised Wardlaw on how to act when filing a missing person report. Text messages recovered from their phones showed detailed exchanges about what story to present to police. "Let's make sure we know exactly what we're saying." One message from Brown read, "Say he left angry after you argued. Don't mention anything else." On December 22nd, 2 days after the murder, Wardlaw walked into the Columbia Police Department to file a missing person report. According to the statement she provided, Sims had left their home after an argument and hadn't returned or contacted anyone, a narrative carefully constructed to deflect suspicion. The report Wardlaw filed claimed she had last seen Sims on the evening of December 20th, stating he had walked out during their disagreement and not returned. She described him as wearing clothing that investigators would later determine had been disposed of along with his body. She also provided a list of his friends who might know his whereabouts, individuals she had not actually contacted before filing the report. What made Wardlaw's deception particularly effective was her apparent willingness to...
What's so crazy is a mother will kill your baby's father. Like what you gonna tell your daughter? Like what you gonna tell your daughter? Oh, daddy, what? Daddy's a deadbeat? Daddy went to get milk and he came back? If you didn't want him to be in your life, you could have just said, "I don't want you. You know, I'm breaking up with you." And y'all could have just, co-parent. But instead, you have to kill a man. Now the kid is gonna grow up without a dad. And the kid is gonna grow up thinking that dad don't love me, dad left me, or dad is a deadbeat. But the whole time, her own mother killed her own dad. It's crazy.
To aid the investigation. She volunteered Sims's phone records, provided photos for missing person flyers, and appeared genuinely distressed when speaking with officers. This performance was convincing enough that initial police response treated the case as a standard missing person investigation. The missing person report generated local media coverage, which Wardlaw leveraged to further her deception. She gave interviews expressing concern for Sims, highlighting his role as a father to 4 children who needed him. These public appearances served dual purposes, maintaining her cover story while monitoring the progress of the investigation. Perhaps the most calculating aspect of Wardlaw's behavior was her organization of a community search party on December 27th. She coordinated with local residents, distributed flyers with Sims's photo and description, and assigned search areas.
What? You did that? You told everybody to come looking for your man, like you search for your man because you think he's missing. So they go out there looking for him, and you think they're not gonna find his body. Do you see how stupid I sound? Like the dumbest award go to these 2 people, bro. For real. Like you organize a search party to look for your man that you killed, and thinking that people who are looking for him not gonna find him laid down in the motherfucking ground or grass or trash or wherever he at. They wasn't thinking.
All while knowing exactly where his body had been left. During the search, Wardlaw strategically directed volunteers away from the creek where Sims' body had been disposed.
Well, that'll be it right now. If y'all want a part 2, let me know down in the comments below. I will drop a part 2. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification on, and I'll see y'all in the next video.